What is going on, guys? My name is Jared Myers, and today's interview is about to be exciting. Yes, we got Simon Miller in the background, and yes, I'm trying to get Simon Miller into an interview, and yes, I'm staring at myself at that and not looking at the camera. I need to look at the camera. Oh my god. But guys, today's interview is about to be amazing. We're going to be talking to VikingSizeGamer, and we're going to go into detail about WWE2K20, 2K22, and even in the past, and just talk about how he created these concepts of like the GM reboot, the My Career reboot, the Universe reboot, a bunch of those videos that you guys have seen. And believe it or not, I actually reacted to one of his videos on my YouTube channel a little bit ago, so I'll actually leave that in the description box down below. But anyways, guys, let's hop right into this video. I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, we got VikingSizeGamer on the line. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, bud. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. What have you been doing during quarantine?
A lot of since it all started, it just everything got locked down, didn't it? So,
Yeah.
and then in 2020, we obviously got the news that 2K21 was cancelled.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been doing a lot of concepts for 2K22, which you're probably aware of anyway.
Oh yeah. So what made you want to start YouTube? I know I think you started 5 years ago. Like what inspired you starting?
You know, it's crazy. The account was started 5 years ago, but I didn't really start using it until 3 years ago. So I think that's when it actually really sort of started putting stuff on the channel.
Yeah.
And it kind of just started. I was at work. It was kind of a really boring job. I got to a point where I could basically do it with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And you know, you just browse on YouTube, you see other people do it, and you go, I wonder if I can do this. And it just kind of took off from there. I'd had no prior experience, no stuff with video editing. I knew nothing, so I just picked it up and just said, okay, let's try and do it, see what happens.
That's awesome. Was there any wrestling content creators you watched when you were younger?
Yeah, there was a lot actually. So I think everybody at one point or another has watched Smack Talks.
Yeah.
So you know that's somebody that I'd seen that I've gone, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, surely you know I could probably imitate that or make it good or make it look good. I was like, but I wanted to do something different. So and It's My Yard, which is another UK one. He's like one of the original YouTubers. I didn't realize that I was actually watching him years and years and years before I'd even looked at it. So yeah, like a few of the big ones like that I'd really looked at, but not huge. In fact, I based my early style on of doing news and things like that for the wrestling games and stuff. More on what's his name again? He's a news YouTuber, and I can't remember what his name is now. But that's really going to annoy me because my whole thing was based off him. What was that?
Has he been around for a while?
Oh yeah, he's been around since what I feel like since the beginning of YouTube, but it's not, you know, easily. Was that sorry?
Sean's View Entertainment? Is that who you're?
No, not. He wasn't even wrestling. It was just general news. Yeah. I can't remember what his name is now because that's gonna really annoy me.
You're gonna figure it out literally like right after the interview.
You know, I will, and it'll really annoy me because I follow him and everything, and I've gone, why can't I remember your name?
And so when you wait, hold on a second. So starting a YouTube channel, there's always like that struggle, like when you first start your channel. I remember before the channel I have right now, I had another channel. I did it for 12 years. And you know, the WWE or AEW likes to hit you with those copyright strikes, and that's how I lost my channel, which frustrates me because I was finally doing good, and then I lost it all, and I was like, gotta start from the beginning again. So that gets frustrating. But when you started, what's some things that you did to get your channel really off of the ground and rolling?
The funny thing is that when I first started, I thought, oh, I can do this, but I didn't do wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of saw what was it? I saw Smack Talks videos for the Did You Know stuff, and I thought that's a good format. So I took that and I did it for No Man's Sky, and that did quite well. And I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. And I was like, but I'm not really into No Man's Sky. It was just kind of the thing at the time.
Yeah.
And they just brought out an update. So I thought, well, what am I really into? I was like, WWE, really. So let's let's try and do a top 10 things. And that's what I did. I did a top 10 feature for WWE about what the next game should include. And weirdly enough, I didn't know this at the time, but top 10s really do very well on YouTube. So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Like, if you've got something in a list format, people like lists. I don't know what it is, but they just like lists. Make a top 10 of something, make a top 20 of something, make a top 25 of something. Hell, if you want to go the whole hog and do a top 100, do it. People will sit there and watch it. I don't know why, but it's something they love to do. So
Yeah. I think it's because people like to see other people's opinions on things and see if it lines up to theirs and that type of things. Like, yeah, they do really good.
Yeah, I can imagine that's probably true. Yeah, I think they probably do. And even if they don't agree with it, you know, they'll sit there and they'll get outraged and they'll still type something in the comments, you know. But it's interaction, you know. It's all about the engagement, really. So.
Oh yeah. When you made your GM reboot and your universe reboot, how long did that take? Because it's like I've made video game concepts in the past, and I know from experience how frustrating it can be to make it flow so perfect from the selection to the selection. How long did that take you personally to make those? Because that's like, I think they're 20-minute videos. And then what was your process behind it, like coming up with the ideas and all that?
So the process where it starts is really it all starts in a document, literally in a Word document. It doesn't go anywhere else. It stays in a Word document, and then it's literally a case of, okay, what are the things that it should have? First off, it's got to have a menu of what things it should have. I basically work off what the old one has. So, you know, for instance, well, in fact, GM mode didn't have anything to work off because I wasn't bringing back the old GM mode because that thing sucked so badly. But universe mode had something to work with. So I just kind of filled in the gaps of what it was missing. And what I would do is I'd have a load of bullet points for the menu, and then I'd have sub bullet points inside there that would say what else was in there. And then anything that needed explaining was then another sub bullet point of that sub bullet point. And it was just lots and lots of typing and document and writing everything up. And then once I got past that stage, onto Photoshop, then just going to town, like for hours and hours. So long. So painful. And I feel like I spent most of my life in Photoshop just with those ones. It feels like all of my time in lockdown has been spent there. But it really did pay off because after I got everything done in Photoshop and it looked nice, I carried it over to After Effects and then animated each thing. I think the whole process, usually if it runs really smoothly, and I take no days off, I could probably do it in like 3 weeks. But life, so it takes longer, which is why some of the newer ones have taken a bit of a back seat. But that's the process, man. So it does take that long, just because like some of the scenes are quite complicated to get them to animate the way that I want them to and look realistic.
Do you ever get really frustrated with it, if it's not going the way you want it to go, or just having a bad day with it?
100%. Yeah, I mean, frustration comes with it. I mean, if you've used any Adobe product, you're gonna get frustrated. The whole thing is just, if you're not gonna sit there and go, why aren't you working properly? I've had instances where I've told just a box to move from one side to the other, and all it does is it goes, okay, I'm gonna go from here, and then I'm gonna go all the way to the other side, and then I'm going to start crawling back to the other side for no reason, and then go back to where you told me to. I'm like, why are you doing this? So yeah, it's just frustrations happen, but and sometimes the best thing to do is literally put it down, walk away for the night, and come back refreshed, because the worst thing you could do is just get angry and just mess it up,
Yeah. So I saw that there was a tweet where they were a fan was trying to explain how they want GM mode to be, and they were trying to explain how universe mode is different than GM mode, and then they tagged your video and 2K. So obviously they've seen your videos. Have they ever tried to contact you about anything at all? Or?
Yeah. I think it's. I don't know how widely known, but I know it's known within a lot of the communities that I spoke directly to the new executive producer for WWE2K, Patrick Gilmore. So I spoke with him directly. We talked about a lot of stuff, around my concept. And I was left afterwards feeling pretty confident about the way that the franchise would be heading. So, it's one of those things that is kind of like you have to leave it in their hands to see how it ends up developing, because there's only so much that you can do. There's only so much input that you can give, and what they take from that, they take from that. So
yeah, what does that mean to you for like someone who loves wrestling to realize that your input might be applied to a wrestling game? Like did you grow up playing those wrestling games and now your input might actually be in a wrestling game? Like, what's that feeling?
Honestly, it's incredible. I've been playing wrestling games since it must have been even the Master System, Sega Master System. I think probably before that as well. But yeah, I am that old. But oh no, it is pretty crazy. The fact that you've played these games for so long, through your entire life, every single iteration of it. In fact, the only one that I ever missed was 2K15, and that was only because I'd seen so many reviews of people saying, "Don't get it, just don't get it, just avoid like the plague." So I did, and apparently good choice. So, but to see the fact that something might actually come of it, some of my ideas might actually make it into the next game, that's huge for somebody. That's kind of like you've been watching your favorite TV show for forever, and you say to one of the just offhand, you make a random storyline for a character on this TV show, and one of the script writers goes, "That's cool, I'm taking that," and it appears. You've been like, "Oh my god, so cool."
Oh yeah. Do you think GM mode will be coming back this year?
I honestly have no idea. And the reason I say that is because I could say yes. But the thing is that that's only if WWE go, yeah, all right, then sure. Because they get really a lot of say on what goes in the game. But there's also a lot of other things they've had to do. So I know they'd have to hire a lot of people to get that mode up and running, especially the way that I modeled it. Which, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the only way that people may accept it. Otherwise, it's just a case of putting the stuff in from it into universe, which doesn't work. I keep saying this, but that's a different story. So I would say I'm 50-50 whether it does or not. I don't know whether they've got the resources at the time to make the game playable and workable and have GM mode and fix everything else.
So from your experience with 2K20, you know how the backlash from it was absolutely crazy. Do you think 2K22 has potential? Because it's kind of like a make or break series in a way. So they got to really make sure this thing is perfect. Do you think this is going to be a really good wrestling game to the same feeling of like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007? Here Comes the Pain, No Mercy. Do you think they can be able to do that?
See, that's tough because, we've moved on since those games, right? So the fact that, it could come back, it's, a lot of people are saying make or break. I'll give them that because it kind of is. This series it's needed a revamp for a long, long time. And personally, I would have thought that when they bought the series, when they got the IP, I'd have thought back in 2015 when they upgraded the engine from PS3 to PS4, that they would have gone, hey, do you know what, we should probably start working on our own engine and make this the engine for the wrestling games. But they didn't do that. They left it with Ukes, and it came back, and now we're on 2K20. 2K20 was supposed to be the big reboot because it was taken over. It was fully visual concept.
Yeah.
But, let's face it, if you don't know Japanese and all of the notes for the engine are in Japanese, you're already on a back foot. So, as far as I'm aware, they're reworking. They've binned all the code that 2K20 was built on. So the good news is you aren't getting 2K20 point 0.5. You aren't getting that. You're getting a fully revamped Ukes engine, from what I'm gathering,
Well,
which should realistically equate to. I don't know whether that's going to be better than 2K19, but I know it's not going to be 2K20. So
yeah. Oh yeah. One thing that I would love to see, because I know they do it in the NBA games. Have you heard of the NBA? I think it's My Neighborhood. Is that what it is? Where they have the courts
yeah,
and the. I think it'd be super cool if they did like a WWE performance center, and so you got to go online, and in NBA there's all those courts that you can play online with people, where you can have all those different rings. One ring's a one-on-one, one ring's a tag team, one's a triple threat, and you go outside the performance center, and then there's all those shops. I mean, it's not realistically there, but you can make it look like that, or you can explore
you've
the.
been watching My Career reboot.
Yeah. I also thought about that too, because I've been wanting to see that for a long time. Ever since I saw NBA do that, I was like, do they need it? Like, that'd be so cool. Like, and it's from 2K, so you would think they could probably do something like that. I think that'd
You
be insane.
would. But NBA, they have to keep the engine separate, for licensing purposes,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's basically one of the things that I suggested in my career reboot, is the fact that you have a performance center, whether that's online or offline, doesn't matter, but you'll have superstars in there that you can challenge and wrestle. You can work on your stats, so you can actually go in and train. You can learn new moves rather than having to just buy them with VC. You can buy the training and then perform that move in a practice match like 3 or 4 times. Then that's it. It's unlocked. You don't have to worry about it. And you can actually work on stuff like using the gym that they have in there to increase your strength. If you see people in there that you're online with, you can go and have practice matches with them, or you can have online matches. You can start them in there. There's just so much potential
They're
with a
really.
performance center. So yeah, totally on board with you there.
Hopefully they do it one day.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a lot that they can make from that, and I'm hoping that maybe at least one of the reboots out of the 4 that I've done so far
Mhm.
is going to be taken from. I don't know which one it is. Maybe all of them. Who knows? But
Yeah.
probably not. I would imagine maybe 2, maybe 2.
In your personal opinion, what do you like better, and what do you think they should go forward with? Do you think they should continue doing My Career or Road to WrestleMania? Because in my opinion, I don't know what it is. I could never get into a My Career. I would play about maybe like for the first day and then never touch it again. Road to WrestleMania, I would always play every single story. I don't know why. Maybe it's nostalgia or I was a kid, but what do you think they should go with in the future? Stick with My Career or bring back Road to WrestleMania?
I think my career personally, I think I think there was a difference, wasn't there? I mean, like with Road to WrestleMania, you were playing mostly as the WWE superstars.
Yes.
So everything you got for them felt authentic. It felt like a storyline that would happen in WWE,
Yeah.
right? And quite a few of them were written and produced by Justin Leeper, who I also speak to. And he did a lot of the motion capture. He was like the director for the motion capture for those games too. So there's so many things there that were so good about those games. But I don't know, like I honestly can't remember much from the created characters.
Mm.
Road to WrestleMania. It was mainly like the superstars one that I
Yeah.
played. But then they brought out this My Career, and it was very linear. Like your stuff didn't really matter, and it wasn't really your character because it was always Buzz or Trey and Red. I mean,
Yeah.
and I will say this until the day I die: it's not my career if it's not my character, and it's not my character if you're naming him after the fact that he slipped over on a freaking tray. I mean, just it's mind-boggling. So I literally just decided it's not really my career. It's a story mode with my face on it, which is not my career. So I think personally, if they can completely revamp my career and make it more like, maybe not exactly like an NBA game, but more towards that NBA RPG style, if you see what I'm saying, you know, the stuff where you can go and you can have a lot more say in what you do, then it's going in the right direction. I believe that the storylines and everything just need to be intertwined, and you just need a bit more freedom, like the Road to WrestleMania. A mix between the two would be great. Just not as linear, and not the fact that your character has a stupid name.
Yeah, I feel on that one. So I saw you got to go to the WWE2K19 press conference, I believe it was, and you got to interview Charlotte. How do you get to do that? Like, were you with a company, or did you just walk in and say you were? Like, how do you do that?
Oh, no, I just walk in like a bad. No, I don't. I'm not a badass. Well, when you get to a certain point, and you feel like you're comfortable enough, you know, this is down to your preference, really. I personally reached out to the community manager for 2K, and just to test the waters and see if I could possibly get involved, you know, if there was anything that I could do to help. And it was at that point that they kind of say to you, right, well, look, you know, if you want to get involved, then this is what you need. You know, you can kind of like do this and do that, and usually you'll get put on a list. So that'll be people to, like, you know, if you want to get like news stuff, but you have to be vetted first. You know, they won't just let anybody on the list.
Yeah.
You know, they want people that have got, you know, good ethics, you know, and that they're not absolute idiots online, you know, and, you know, they've got a good reputation. They're building that. They're building a community because they want people to foster this thing, you know, as well. They want to build on it. So you get put on the list. And then when opportunities come up, you may or may not get contacted for them, you know, depending on how well your channel's doing and your community and your, you know, your traction, your engagement, things like that, because that's what they're really looking at. They're looking at all these sorts of things, but they're really looking at a lot about you, your personality and your community. And the fact that I think I had quite a strong community even in the early periods, because I think at this point I only had like 9 or 10, maybe 11,000 subscribers, if that. So I feel like I was very, very lucky, in a unique position for somebody of my caliber at that point, you know. So I was kind of like, wow, this is insane. So yeah, I was given the opportunity to interview Charlotte, and at the 2K20 press event, I interviewed Tony Storm and oh my god, my brain, what is wrong with it tonight? And Tyler Bate and Trent Seven.
Oh wow, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Ones upload on your channel too?
I have Tony Storm, Trent Seven. Unfortunately, the audio for Trent Seven Tyler Bate wasn't great, so I had to abandon it, sadly. But yes, Tony Storm was on there.
And then my final question for you is, out of all the wrestling games that you have played, what's your favorite wrestling game you've ever got to play?
That's tough, because they all have their their massive flaws and yet their amazing sides to them as well. I think probably maybe SmackDown versus Raw 2006 or 7. Yeah, and I think that was only because, you know, you had a lot of customization options. You had, you know, decent story modes when they were on there, you know. But I do miss things like season mode, you know. There was a lot more options with that one, although it wasn't really voiced or anything like that. So, and I really loved Just Bring It, SmackDown Just Bring It, absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, I like that one too. My favorites were like, there's always, everyone says Here Comes the Pain. I really like Shut Your Mouth. That one, I like how you got to, I wish they could bring this back into the newer games. You got to go up into the concourse and go around the concourse outside, and then go in the train, and then go to the city. Like, did they ever talk to you about ever bringing that back? Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't know anything about that, but I would love to see something where you can actually go around the arena more than just that little backstage bit. Because that is, the stuff that they used to do, even just climbing on the helicopters or having a fight in the bar. You know, I can't remember what the bar was called, but they have them there, and you could have the fight in where is it? They had like the theater as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where it was an actual WWE theater. What was that?
They had like a Hall of Fame section area too, or something. I don't know. It was like I think that's the bar you're talking about.
Yeah, I think they had where they had the barroom brawls. I think that
You
was
know,
I can't remember what the bar was called though, because it was something specific to that era. And they had also like I think it was like a raw theater or something that you could have a fight in as well. There's all sorts of stuff. You could fight basically anywhere. It didn't matter in the street, in the park. It didn't really matter. You could walk all the way down to the boiler room and have fights in there too. It was
oh
just,
yeah.
I think if they if the developers could have had their way and their say, they probably would have had, going through hell and meeting Kane if you could. It just would have been one of those things. It was insane. If you
Oh
could jump off a
yeah.
helicopter and land an elbow drop, then why not?
One thing I never knew until actually last year, my friend told me. Did you know there's a section where if you turn it on to snowing outside, you can throw snowballs at each other.
Yes.
I
Yes,
never.
I did know that.
Well, just a little
There,
thing matter.
there is just some insane little things that a lot of people don't know. And I believe that one of my friends as well, this Gen Gaming, he was the one who actually dug up that in one of the really old games, I think it was Raw 2, there was a cutscene that would only play 0.02% of the time. That was how likely you were to get it through a playthrough. But he managed to find it, and it was it was a setup where somebody would get hit with an anvil being dropped on their head, and the whole reason they snuck it in there was because like it was so unlikely for anybody to actually get this scene that when you told your friends, they wouldn't believe you because it sounded ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we'll see where 2K22 is gonna go.
Yeah, we will, and hopefully it'll be a lot better than 2K20.
I think they'll do it. I mean, okay, anything will be better than 2K20. I feel like that thing crashed on me more times than anything. You load up just a match and it crashes. That was so frustrating. Oh,
Yeah, honestly, and the thing is that when you're at the event, we only get like 4 hours to play the game. So,
oh,
and I know that a lot of people like us creators, we got a bit of flack, for saying, oh well, I mean, it seemed like it was okay when we were playing it, it just seemed like a WWE game, a few bugs here and there, but they said once day one patch comes out, expect them a lot of them to be fixed. We were kind of shocked that Creator Championship wasn't in day one,
yeah.
but they admitted that they were redoing everything with this new fork of the engine when they were coding to make it 2K20 and not 2K19. They admitted they bit off more than they could chew, and they were actually rejigging everything in the creation suite, and that was the only thing they had left that they didn't fix. So that's why that came in later. But we only got 4 hours with it, so even if we did find bugs, they said, well, once they're fixed, we'll get the patch out and it'll all be all right. And then it turns out, instead of having like 30, people playing the game and kind of testing it out, the game came out early, and you get like 100,000 people playing the game, all testing it out, going, "What is this?
Yeah.
It's a nightmare fuel," and it really was. So there's not really much you can do about it at this point. You just kind of sat there and like, you said it was okay, and it's like, I got 4 hours. I am one man. What am
Yeah.
I? I can't find everything. I'm not testing everything. You go in there, you got to get the main things that you need to get to, build a bit of hype on your channel, and get, try and see what people can see with it. You want to cover things that are going to be exciting, like the entrances and the new moves and things like that. You want to get all the cool stuff. You don't want to sit there and go, right, what can I break? You don't want to do that. So
Yeah. Dude, that's
it's a
funny.
shame.
Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
No worries at all, Jared. It's really nice chatting to you. So, like I said, you caught me on a good day. Let's hope that I'm not too busy going through, but I know that I'm gonna be now. I'm gonna be flat out right until 2K22 comes out.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully you get to test play it. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I hope you guys did enjoy that video. If you guys did, make sure to smash that thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much for doing that interview with me, man. It means the world to me. We're cranking out these interviews, and yeah, hopefully one day, bro, like on my merch, one day, bro, and like the tattoo on me, that I will be able to do a 2K event. It's been actually a goal of mine. I've been wanting to do that. I think I made a video in 2018 going into 2019 going into 2020, one of those two. And I said my goal is to do one of these, or no, 2018 going into 2019. I said my goal is to do one of these. So yeah, hopefully it happens. I don't know. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Smash the subscribe button and also subscribe to his YouTube channel too. Peace.